And notice how children run. Have you noticed how children run? They always run on the ball of their feet. I read a book called Born to Run by Christopher McDougall. He's a runner and he was getting lower back, pelvic and hamstring problems. So he took 6 months off work and decided to investigate worldwide different runners. He wanted to know why he was suffering with hamstring and lower back. And you'll notice that most joggers are padded to encourage heel striking. Have you noticed that? And yet we should be toe striking. So he went to the history books and he found in 1960 and 1964, Bibi Bikila, an African runner, took home gold, both sets of Olympic Games, and he was a barefoot runner. He also investigated other barefoot runners. You run barefoot on the grass, you will never strike with your heel. And what Christopher McDougall does, he goes into the anatomy of the foot, which is very interesting. You see, the foot's been designed to strike on the toe. When you strike on the toe, it strengthens the arch and the ball of the foot has a cushioning effect and the toes spread out to sort of take the fall. But when you strike with your heel, none of that happens. And he discovered that it is heel striking that's causing the hamstring, the pelvic and the lower back problems. Isn't that interesting? And out of that book came the barefoot runner craze. And the barefoot runner is basically runners that have a really thin sole. So I have my barefoot runners here. So I'll show you. When I buy, sorry, I've been running in the dirt this morning. When I buy a runner, I always go like that in the shop. That's what I want. And that barefoot runner allows me to run on my toes. When I started to do the, sorry, bit of dirt from my shoes. When I started to do the barefoot running and got my, my thin sole, it's no fun if there are big rocks on the road. So I go for the smooth bits and I also grass as much as possible. My muscles in my legs got really sore. And I thought, this is really strange. Why are my legs sore when I usually exercise every day? And that's when I realized when you toe strike, you use a totally different set of muscles to when you heel strike. Of course, those muscles adapted, and that's the amazing thing about the body, is its ability to adapt and adjust. We want it to adapt and adjust to the good things. Unfortunately, many have adjusted to the bad things. So if you do run, make sure it's toe striking. And your high intensity, it's actually whatever works for you. But the rebounding, again, is, I think every home should have one of the rebounders. You can put it on its side and you can put it behind the lounge, and if the kids come, you know where all the kids will be is on the rebounding. If you go to Bellicon, their website, you'll see classes where they will show you in a lot more detail than I have. I've just basically touched on it. I just wanted to show you why it is such a powerful form of exercise. And you'll see a whole lot of different moves and things that you can do. But the current figures are saying that 3 minutes 3 times a day is enough. Now that's hardly anything. So how can you put it into there? You can certainly do your 30 seconds high intensity. You saw I didn't seem to hardly do anything, and yet I'm sure you could see that my breath was starting to be catched or caught. Jogging on the rebounder. So I'm just going to move over to the rebounder again and just give you a tiny little illustration of this. You can, now if you do that on the rebounder, jogging on the rebounder, well, you'll definitely get your high intensity. But just leaping high on the rebounder might take a little bit longer to get your heart rate and your breathing up, but you certainly will get that.